What's up, everybody? It's Jaron for Berkshire Bike and Board, and this is everything you need to know about the 2023 Tour de France, Stage 11. I did that backwards. That's okay. What happened today? Let's talk about the stage a little bit. Went from Clermont to Moulins. It was 180K. A few bumps on the way, but nothing major. It was definitely a day for the sprinters. A little bit about the middle of the stage, some history. We went through Julian Alaphilippe's hometown today, which is cool. I think a lot of people thought we were going to see some fireworks out of him today. We didn't see him contest for the stage really, but what he did do is save Jonas Vingegaard amazingly. It was at like 2.2K or something like that, so I think they were inside the 5K like limit of where if you crashed or dropped, you get the peloton's time, but we don't want to see anybody in yellow go down. So what happened? They're plowing into the sprint, Jumbo's on the front, 35 miles an hour, it's raining outside, and Jonas has a lapse. He starts to drift, and if you've gone 35 miles an hour on your bike in the rain, you know on a road bike, your bike wants to go straight. It doesn't want to turn. And he starts to drift. And once you get into that bumpy stuff, it's even harder to turn. He actually edges on the dirt and the grass a little bit. And you can, it's like, it's all over pretty much. The camera, it was a perfect overhead view. You could see him drift. And Julian Alaphilippe just kind of grabs him and pulls him back. You know, I mean, I've been talking a lot of trash around here about Julian Alaphilippe, like not being the nicest guy and loving himself in front of the camera. But yeah, chapeau to Julian Alaphilippe today. He really saved the day for Jumbo, and they owe him a lot of thanks, honestly. It was a nice move. Let's talk about Jasper Philipsen a little bit because he's absolutely dominating the Tour. I'm not going to talk about how much I miss Mark Cavendish because we've got other things to talk about, although, man, I miss you, Cav. Jasper Philipsen, young Belgian, I think he's like 25 years old. He was a football star as a kid, a big football player, and he was into BMX bike riding, crashed on his BMX bike a few times, which made him too injured to play football, which catapulted his professional bike racing career. He's from the same town as Tom Boonen. Yes, pro cycling extraordinaire Tom Boonen. Now, obviously, he was an inspiration to Jasper as a kid. Jasper wore the Tom Boonen kit all the time, and actually, pretty cool, when he was starting to come up in the ranks and was a junior, he would train with Boonen, or Boonen would kind of drag him around. So I'm sure Mr. Tom is feeling pretty good about what's happening with Jasper, his little prodigy, this past week or two. The bike race, flat as a pancake, nothing happened. A breakaway went, they got brought back. There really isn't much to talk about in these flat stages. I think all the GC teams are freaking out about what's to come because we're pretty much going into the Alps kind of tomorrow, but really the day after. So it was a flat day, pretty steady pace, nothing too crazy, and then we get to the sprint. So what happens on the sprint? Jumbo leads in. They want to get Vingegaard through the 5K mark. That happens. Almost an issue, but then not so much an issue. And then it wasn't exactly clear what was going to happen with the sprint. Like Alpecin was in the front. I don't know where Intermarché was. Biniam Girmay, I had high hopes for him, but he's not really doing much of anything this tour. Who else was in the front? Trek had a couple of guys for Mads Pedersen, but that didn't seem to come to fruition. We didn't see the normal lead-out train of like Van der Poel off the front with Philipsen. Basically, he was stuck in the back. There was like 5 or 10 guys in front of him. He was biding his time. I got to give him a lot of credit. I can only imagine how hard it is to be patient, but he was so patient in the sprint. He kind of went from one guy and then he bounced back to another guy. He was sitting down with 400 meters to go. He wasn't really stressed out. And then all of a sudden, I think it was Groenewegen goes. He finds the right wheel. Groenewegen pulls to the front like he's going to win the stage. And Philipsen just, see you guys, no problem. Wins the stage by a few bike lengths and a couple hundred meters, if that. They showed him like 2 minutes after the stage in an interview. They don't even have to wait that long anymore because he's fresh. He barely looked like he rode his bike today. So he's clearly got a level of fitness, especially in the sprints, that nobody else has. But I think more importantly than that, he's got the confidence now and the tactics. Like when you have 3 or 4 wins under your belt, you can all of a sudden be patient. You can wait until the right wheel goes. You don't have to, like, there's no desperation in his sprint anymore. He's clean in house. Yeah, Jasper the Disaster. That may be a nickname of the past. I'm not really sure, but he's doing a hell of a job.
Jasper the Master.
Jasper the Master. Thank you, Jason. Tomorrow, we go into Beaujolais, which should be kind of interesting. Few categorized climbs, nothing major. I think there's a category 2 climb at the end. There's like 3 big bumps at the end, basically. And they're not really bumps. They're pretty good climbs. So tough though, what's going to say. I think tomorrow we won't see a GC fight. I think we'll see Tadej and Vingegaard stay together. The peloton is so fast this year with, those guys' teams, the supporting teams are keeping the race together. I don't think we'll see a breakaway go. I would have picked Pidcock for tomorrow if I didn't hear him talk so much about how he wants to make a GC bid. So if he's going to try to get third in the GC, that means he's not going to go for an individual stage win probably, even though it would be good for his GC bid. It seems like it maybe is too reckless for him at this point. This would be a perfect stage for him because we got that big bump at the end and then a long downhill finish, and it's not that long of a downhill where you could probably hold him off. Yeah, I think no Pidcock tomorrow. If I got to take a pick, Jason, help me out. Who's going to win tomorrow? I'm going to go super random on this one. EF Education First has not really any contenders for the GC. They want to win a stage. What's his name with the Magnus Cort has done nothing all tour besides hang out, look cool, and smile a lot. I think he has a day tomorrow. I think they give him a nod. I think he goes up and over one of those last climbs with the breakaway, and he's able to. The thing about Magnus Cort is in a breakaway, if there is a sprint, he's strong. He's got a strong sprint for a breakaway guy. So, yeah, I'm 4 for 11. It's not looking good predictions-wise, so I'll throw a wild card out there. I got Magnus Cort tomorrow. If you like what you heard, give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, round up for distance, round down for time. Thanks for watching.